Hello, and a warm welcome to our show, Love Athletics. In this program, we bring you the latest highlights from our sport with expert input from different continental areas. Now, today I'm all alone, but delighted to be back with you all to look together at the athletics action of the past fortnight, including the fabulous first World Indoor Tour Gold Meet in Boston and the continuation of the World Cross Tour. We will also speak about excellent performances by underage athletes and conclude by looking at the outstanding achievements of athletes in and out of competition, including how numerous specialists of our sport are preparing to line up at the upcoming Winter Olympics in the bobsleigh. So let's start right away with the first meet of the World Indoor Tour Gold held on 24 January in Boston, the New Balance Indoor Grand Prix, which saw outstanding performances in middle and long distance races on another fast Boston track, including one world indoor record and one world indoor best, both set by US athletes. Interestingly, both of whom had not made the US team for the World Championships last September. So they clearly had a huge motivation to prove themselves. The first came in the rarely run men's 2,000 meters. Double Paris Olympics bronze medalist Grant Fisher was hoping to once again top the all-time lists after setting indoor records over 3,000 and 5,000 last year. Fisher and Hobbs Kessler, who is the 2024 World Indoors bronze medalist, were the only two athletes capable of following the pacemaker who had kept the event on record pace. But on the back straight in the last lap, Kessler exploded, just like his coach had told him to do, surging ahead of his more experienced compatriot to win in 4:48.79 to 4:49.48, with Belgium's greatly improved Peter Ciesk a distant third. Hobbs took 1.2 seconds off the world best, held by the great Kenenisa Bekele since 2007, with Fisher also below the previous mark, and the top 5 finishers all breaking the top 11 of the all-time lists. But there was more to come in the second to last race on the program, the men's 800 meters, where reigning world indoor champion Josh Hoey, also of the US team for Tokyo, had made no secret of targeting the world record of Denmark's Wilson Kipketer. Hoey had already run an excellent world best over 600 in December and was aiming to repeat the feat over the classic 800 meters race. Perfectly paced by his older brother Jackson, Hoey was in a race of his own and kept pushing the pace once he was alone in the lead to close in 1:42.50, shaving 0.17 off Kipketer's mark, set almost 29 years ago. The Dane had in fact set it twice in the heats and in the final at the 1997 World Indoor Championships. Ho had already moved to number 2 in the all-time list last year, and he now reigns supreme. Another excellent performance came from Australia's Cameron Myers, starting his first senior year, who ran the 3,000 meters earlier in the day, clocking 7:27.57 to finish over 3 seconds ahead of Ireland's Andrew Coscoran, and moved to number 10 in the all-time short track list. That was an Oceania record for the 19-year-old Myers, taking 2.41 seconds off the previous continental best set by his compatriot Kai Robinson last February. Among the women, the best performance also came in the longer distances. Elle St. Pierre had won the 3,000 meters title at the 2024 World Indoors, then took maternity leave after the Olympic Games that year and was running her first track race since then. The American showed she had lost none of her strength, kicking away to clinch the win in 8:26.54, half a second over Aussie's Lyndon Hall and a fading Jessica Hull, both fresh off their World Cross Relay gold. There was also a World Under-18 best in the women's 1500 meters by Ethiopia's Elsabet Amare, who placed 8th in 4:05.38, taking 1.2 seconds off the previous mark set in 2024 by her compatriot Saron Berhe. Shorter races were not as fast. The men's 300 meters had been billed as the world best attempt and closed the day's program. Although the winning mark was even short of the world lead, the race was a thrilling contest as Trinidad and Tobago's Jereem Richards, the 400-meter silver medalist in Tokyo last September, dipped to perfection to deny his training partner, home star and quadruple 200-meter world champion Noah Lyles, prevailing by 1/100th of a second, 32.14 to 32.15. So all in all, a fantastic start to the 2026 indoor season. But there were more great performances from other meets, starting with the indoor. Just the day before the Boston fireworks in the US and Olympic world champion Cole Hocker, running at the Hockey Invitational in Blacksburg, Virginia, had set the US 2,000 meters record with 4:52.92, taking 1.42 seconds off Bernard Lagat's mark from 2014. But of course, that was broken a day later by Hobbs Kessler. We will look at all other notable performances from the US in the top mark section in senior and underage categories. Across the ocean in Europe, there was an excellent 2:03 for Yaroslava Mahuchikh in her seasonal debut on 17 January, competing at home in Lviv for the first time since 2023. On the same day in Antequera in Spain, Uruguay's Valentin Soca placed second in the 1500 meters to Spain's Mohamed Atawi, clocking 3:36.34, which is a new area indoor record, taking 1.5 seconds off the previous continental best by Argentina's Federico Bruno. Soca also has the South American records for the 3,000, both indoor and outdoor, and 5,000 meters indoor. Both were set last year. So again, as for US meets, we will mention other special European results in the top mark section. Let's move now to cross country. 2 World Cross Tour gold events were held after the World Cross Championships, with some top athletes taking part. On 18 January in Elgoibar in Spain, in the Basque country, race favorites confirmed expectations to take the crowns. In the men's race, that was 9.7 kilometers, Ethiopia's Berihu Aregawi, just 8 days after his 3rd consecutive World Cross silver medal, returned to an event he had already won twice in the last 2 editions and made it a hat trick with a 7-second victory over Eritrea's 18-year-old Simon Emmanuel. The women's 7.6 kilometer race saw a demonstration of force by Bahrain's Olympic 3,000 meter steeplechaser Winfred Yavi, who took the lead from the start and broke away well before midpoint, increasing her lead to conclude a huge 1 minute and 6 seconds ahead of Kenya's Sheila Sebet. Totally dominant. A week later, the tour returned to Italy, to the Campaccio in San Giorgio sul Legnano, close to Milan. Races were held in light rain and muddy conditions. In the women's event, home star Nadia Battocletti, who had not competed at the World Cross, even slipped and fell in the second lap, but quickly got up to finish 21 seconds ahead of Burundi's Francine Nyomukunzi. And Burundi took the victory in the men's 10 kilometers race, with Edide Ntakarutimana closing 7 seconds ahead of Uganda's Dolphin Chelimo and his compatriot Celestine Ndikumana, both awarded the same time. On the same day, there was another World Cross Tour gold event held in Belgium, the Cross Cup de Hannut. Both races were held over 8K. And the important thing to note from there is that among the women, home star Jana Van Lent, who had briefly broken the European 10K road race record earlier this month, took the lead from the start and never looked back, closing 16 seconds ahead of Kenya's Sheila Jebet to delight the spectators and become the first Belgian woman since 2015 to win in Hannut. In the men's race, victory went to Uganda's Kenneth Kiprop, who romped home 12 seconds faster than, again, Eritrean youngster Simon Emmanuel. With 2 gold level races to go, the World Cross Tour standings now see Italy's Nadia Battocletti first among the women with 3,600 points, followed by Ethiopia's Likina Ameba, 3,565, and Kenya's Sheila Jebet, 3,540. Among the men, the leader is Kenya's Mathew Kipchumba, Kipsang, also with the full score of 3,600 points, ahead of Burundi's Rodrigue Quizera, 3,580, and Simon Emmanuel, 3,560. Let's move now to road races. The Osaka Women's Marathon was held on 25 January. Victory went to Uganda's Stella Chesang in a 2 hours 19:31 world lead, ahead of Ethiopia's Bedatu Hirpa, 2:19:54, and Vorknesh Edesa, 2:19:56. While Japan debutante Mikuni Yada also dipped below 2 hours 20, closing in 2:19:57. So that was the only notable road race result. Interesting, and as we saw, world leads, but it's still far from the cutoff for our top marks. So it's time now to go back to the global overview of our sport and check all the best results since the last show, starting with the senior men's events. We will continue adding in brackets marks that are regular, which are listed on the respected Tilastopaya website, but which do not appear on World Athletics lists. So starting with the men, in the 400 meters, this is not on the World Athletics list, 45.14 for Christopher Morales Williams on 24 January in Albuquerque. That's far from the world lead by under 20 athletes, Jonathan Sims, but still a very good mark. Over the 800, as we saw, there was a world record by Josh Hoey in Boston. That's worth a whopping 1,311 points. 6 days earlier in Luxembourg, Ireland's Mark English had clocked to 144.65, which was then number 13 in the all-time short track lists. Behind Hoey, well behind, Filip Ostrovsky of Poland, 144.68, and Ryan Clark of the Netherlands, 144.72. Both marks worth over 1,244 points. In the 1500 meters in Stockholm on 22 January, good 3:34.32 by Norway's Håkon Moeberg, and in Luxembourg, the same distance, 3:34.63 by Belgium's Peter Siske. 2,000 meters, we saw world indoor best by Hobbs Kessler. That's worth 1,293 points, ahead of Grant Fisher, also a very good time, 4:49.48, worth 1,285. Behind them, as we said, 4:52.41 for Peter Siske. Then we have the 4:52.92 mark by Cole Hocker, which is not on the World Athletics all-time lists. In Boston, Jake Whiteman, 4:53.69, and Canada's Foster Malek, 4:54.08. Cooper Teare had clocked 4:54.74 in Blacksburg behind Cole Hocker. That was then equal number 7 on the all-time short track list. 3,000, we saw great mark and area indoor record for Cameron Myers. Behind him, 7:30.97 for Andrew Koskaren, also very good, 1,259 points. Graham Blanks, 7:31.97, 1,253 points. Then Nick Griggs of Ireland, 7:32.79, and Marco Langdon of the US, 7:34.56. Pole vault in Łódź in Poland, an excellent 5.93 for Greece's Emanuela Karalis. There were also good marks, 5:90. Zachary Bradford and Casey Lightfoot on 16 January in Reno. And again, Zachary Bradford equaled that mark on 25 January in Paris. On the roads, only one performance. It's slightly below our cutoff, but we're still including it. Half marathon, Habton Samuel of Eritrea ran in 59:01 in the Houston half marathon on 11 January. So let's check now the best women marks of the last fortnight. They're not as good as the men, I must say. So we have 2 marks which are only worth some 10 points less than our cutoff. In the 200 meters short track, 22.56 for Teraya Kelly of the US. That was on 17 January in Lubbock. Over the 3,000 meter steeplechase, as we saw, Elle St. Pierre, 8:26.54 in Boston on 24 January. And behind her, Lyndon Hall, 8:27.03. In the high jump, Yaroslava Mahuchikh, her 2:03 is worth 1,249 points. And our final mark in the shot put, 20:33 for Sarah Mitten of Canada on 24 January in Saskatoon, which is 1,221 points. So those were the best results of the fortnight. But what about the year so far? Best marks of 2026 for men and women as at 28 January are as follows. For the men, they're almost all from the last fortnight. 800 meters, Josh Hoey tops the list. That's worth, as we said, 1,311 points. 2,000 meters world indoor best by Hobbs Kessler is worth 1,293, and Grant Fisher's mark is worth 1,285, and he moves, of course, to the number 2 on the all-time short track lists. Cameron Myers over 3,000 meters. That is also brilliant, 1,281 points, and as we saw, moves to number 10 in the all-time short track list. And the 5th mark is still the 400 meters short track time of 44.62 by Jonathan Sims, which is number 4 of all time on the indoor list. Among the women, on the other hand, the top 3 marks are from the start of the year. 11 January Valencia 10K, 29.25 for Brenda Jepchirchir was worth 1,280 points. 29.29 Likina Ameba, 1,276 points. Third placed Claire Ndiwa in 29.49. That was worth 1,258. The new marks are Yaroslava Mahuchikh in the high jump. Her 2.03 is worth 1,249 points. And then we have the 2 marks from the Boston women's 3,000 meters. Elle St. Pierre, 1,245 points. And Lyndon Hall is worth 1,243. So that's it for the seniors. But there were also some really good performances by under 20s and under 18s in the past 2 weeks. Many of them are not yet on the World Athletic list, so we'll see them in brackets. So starting with the men, 300 meters, Tate Taylor, 32.45 on 17 January in Virginia Beach. That would be number 6 in the under 20 all-time lists. And behind him, Britain's Jake O'Day Jordan, 32.64, which would be number 14 equal on those lists. In the 400 meters, another mark which is not on the World Athletics list, 45.63 by Sidin Jie of the US in Albuquerque. World Athletics doesn't have any of the Albuquerque marks. So then there was a mark by Quincy Wilson, 45.96 in Boston. That is worth 1,177 points and equals the number 18 in the short track lists, but he already has number 10. 500 meters, again, Quincy Wilson, 16 January in Virginia Beach. Those were high school competitions, 100.56. That would be number 2 in the all-time short track lists. 800 meters, Cooper Lutkenhouse, 145.23 on 24 January in New York, moves to number 9 on the under 20 all-time list. And it's number 5 mark on the senior list, foreign. He's only born in 2008. 6 T-meters hurdles, 7.59 for the USA's Liezra Brown, again in Albuquerque. So World Athletics doesn't have under 20 lists for senior height in the hurdles, but 7.59 would be number 11 in the under 20 height. So obviously it's very, very good mark. And on the under 20 height, there's a mark of 7.57 by Zacchaeus Brooks on 18 January in Ann Arbor, which would be number 9 in the all-time short track list. And finally, an outdoor mark in the 10,000 meters race walk by Australia's Isaac Beecroft, who clocked 38:54.11 to win the Australian Championships ahead of all the senior stars. And that mark is number 4 in the under-20 all-time list, but Beecroft had already set the world under-20 record late last year. Among the women, 200 meters, 22.89 by Mia Maxwell of the US on 10 January in College Station. That would be number 15 equal on the under-20 all-time list. And behind her, her sister Mariah, her twin sister, Mariah, 22.97, which would equal number 19 on the list. 300 meters, very good mark of 36.70 by the USA's Cameron Daly, who was born in 2011. So she's still only 15 at the high school competitions in Virginia Beach on 17 January. That would be number 10 on the under-20 all-time list, and it's the number 8 short track. Now, World Athletics does not have under-18 all-time top lists for this distance, but I checked the under-20 lists, and only Britain's Lindsay MacDonald with 36.46 in 1980 set outdoor was still under 18 when she set that performance. And like Daly, she was 15 turning 16. Actually, Daly's even younger because she's 14 turning 16. Then 400 meters, 52.14 for Choma Nyachukwu. We've spoken about her at length last year from Nigeria. That was on 16 January in Fayetteville and equals number 13 on the under-20 all-time lists, but she already has number 11. Over the 1,000 meters, Claire Stigall of the US, also 16 January, but in Gainesville in Florida, clocked 241.72. Now that would be number 11 on the under-20 all-time list, even though it's only worth 1,108 points. Then over the 1,500 meters, we have the excellent mark by Elsabet Amare, which is the world under-18 best, 4:05:38. And she also moves to number 8 on the under-20 all-time short track lists. Earlier on 18 January in Luxembourg, her compatriot Sam Ruthe Mulugeta had clocked 4:07:59, which was then number 11 on the under-20 all-time lists. 60-meter hurdles, another mark which is not on World Athletics, 7.99, but the USA's Madeline Cooper in Albuquerque. That would be number 4 in the under-20 all-time lists. Among the under-18s, 60 meters, 6.69 by Chinweoka Onwuchekwa of the US on 24 January in Lubbock. That would be number 8 on the under-18 all-time lists. There's also a mark of 6.70 by Dylan Mitchell of the US on 10 January in College Station, which would be number 13. And the same Dylan Mitchell over the 200 meters clocked 20.97, also on 10 January in College Station, which would be number 5 in the under-18 all-time lists. Then 400 meters, 46.37 by Jonathan Riggs of the US, 24 January in Lubbock, and 47.11 by Jaylene Hunter on the same day, which would be number 11 on the list. 800 meters, this is an outdoor mark by New Zealand's Sam Ruthe, who is still 16, 145.86. He moves to number 14 on the under-18 all-time lists. And on the mile, he ran in 3:53.83 on 24 January in Wanganui. Now, World Athletics does not have under 18 all-time lists for the mile, but all other athletes who are above him in those lists were already 18 or 19 years old. So that should be an area under 18 best, as is not only an area under 18 best, but it should, as indicated by Tilastopaya, it should actually be a world best. And in any case, he moves also to number 19 in the under 20 all-time list. On the 60 meters hurdles, 91.4 centimeters, 7.57 by Jared Ejasian of Nigeria on 17 January in Aubonne in France. And in the heats, he had already run the same time. 7.63 for Dmitry Uskov of Russia in Tumen on 23 January would be number 6 on the under 18 all-time list. Among the women, 60 meters, 7.28 for Italy's Kelly Douala on 25 January in Paris. That equals the number 14 on the under 18 all-time list, but she already had a much faster time, which was number 4. 200 meters, again, Cameron Daly, 23:39. We spoke about her in Virginia Beach. That would be number 13 on the under 18 all-time list. 1,500 meters, Elsabet Amare and her world under 18 best. That's worth a very high number of points for an under 18 athlete. That's 1,184. In the 60-meter hurdles, 76.2 centimeters, 8.25 for Poland's Aleksandra Kondratowicz on 24 January in Spala, and she moves to number 10 on the under 18 all-time list. Then there's a mark in the pentathlon, which is a little strange, 42.13 points for Finland's Alisa Launonen on 24 January in Tampere. That would be number 9 on the under 18 all-time list. But it's strange that not only it's not on the World Athletics list, but it also is not on Tilastopaya. And it's a bit surprising that they don't have a Finnish mark, being a Finnish site. Then there's another mark, which is on both lists, 41.09 points for Portugal's Sara Ferreira on 24 January in Braga, and she moves to number 19 equal on the under 18 all-time list. So let's talk in detail about Sam Ruthe, the New Zealand running prodigy who has been had athletics experts eagerly monitoring his progress. In March 25, then aged 15, Ruthe had become the youngest ever athlete to run the mile under 4 minutes, clocking 3:58.35. He has now started 2026 in style with 2 Oceania under 18 bests in just over a week. As we saw, over the 800, 145.86, and over the mile, 3:53.83. His performance from 24 January over the mile, when he slashed a massive 4.5 seconds off his previous PB, is the fastest ever run by an under 18 athlete. The World Athletics does not publish mile all-time lists for this age category, and it's so good that it places him as number 19 in the under 20 all-time list. So definitely a very interesting athlete, and one who, with Cameron Myers, who just moved to the senior ranks, looks set to bring great joy to Oceania track fans. This weekend, he will compete in the mile at the Boston University, which has a notoriously fast track, so that should be fun. I'd like now to highlight some cool athletics news. Congratulations to several of our athletes for their outstanding achievements. The first is Portuguese racewalker João Vieira, who less than 1 month shy of his 50th birthday, won the national title over the marathon racewalk on 25 January, finishing in 3:20:43, which is the number 6 mark in the world so far. Vieira, twice a world championship medalist, he was bronze in 2013 on the 20K, and he was silver on the 50K in 2019, closed a whopping 26 minutes ahead of runner-up Amare Teixeira. The Portuguese veteran had made history books in Tokyo last September when he competed in a record 14th World Championship. Now, don't let the photo mislead you. Third placed Ricardo Vendeira, who you see in the white top, is 5 years younger than Vieira. So congratulations, Jean. Another athlete who continues to amaze on and off the track is Kenya's quadruple 1,500-meter world champion, Faith Kipyegon, who also on 25 January broke ground on her project to build a maternity ward in her home in Keringet. The triple Olympic gold medalist explained on her Instagram page that she had had the idea when attempting to break 4 minutes in the mile. It was about pushing boundaries, she said, about daring to chase something many people said was impossible. I did it to inspire women around the world to believe in themselves. The dream she then decided to pursue was a different one, where women could safely deliver the child they were carrying. Kipyegon continued, "We say clearly, women deserve better care. Mothers deserve safety. Children deserve a strong start in life." Teaming up with her longtime sponsor, Nike, and agents Global Sports Communication, but also with the support of the Hospitaller Order of Malta and the Franciscan Sisters of the Immaculate Conception and the local community. That project, as you see in the photo, will take shape normally by the end of the year. So congratulations, Faith Kipyegon. But let's get back to the sport side of things. Today, we would like to congratulate all the track and field athletes who will be competing in record numbers in the bobsleigh at the upcoming Winter Olympic Games in Cortina, Milano Cortina. Back in January 22, before the Beijing Winter Games, we had done a special Athletics History Live program with French journalist, coach, and historian Pierre-Jean Vazel, focused on athletes who had competed at both the Summer and Winter Games. By far the largest number of those multi-talented athletes had combined athletics and bobsleigh. That was 48 out of 139 before Beijing 22. The most successful athletes were able to medal at both the Summer and Winter Games, and 2 of those came from our sport. Let's take a look. So 7 athletes won medals at both Summer and Winter Games. The first was Eddie Egan back in the 20s. He had taken gold in the light heavyweight category in boxing in 1920. And in 1932, he took gold in the 4-man event in the bobsleigh. So he's the only athlete to actually win gold in both. After that, in chrono order, Norway's Jakob Tullin Tams. He competed in ski jumping in 1924 and 1928. In 24, he won the first Olympic ski jumping gold medal. Then he competed in sailing in 1936, taking silver in the 8-meter sailing team. Germany's Didier and then Germany Christa Lundvig Rothenburger was a speed skater. She competed in between 19 1984 and 1992. She took gold in the 500-meter speed skating in 1984 and gold in the 1,000 meters in 88, as well as silver in the 500. And then in cycling, she took silver in the track cycling event in 1988. Canada's Clara Hughes also combined cycling and speed skating. She competed in cycling between 1996 and 2012, taking bronze in the road race in 1996 and bronze in time trial in 1996. And in speed skating, where she competed between 2002 and 2010, she took gold in 5,000 in 2006, silver in team pursuit in 2006, bronze in 5,000 in 2002 and 2010. And then we have one of our stars, Lauren Williams of the US. She competed at the Olympic Games in athletics between 2004 and 2012. She was silver in the 100 meters in 2004, and she was a gold medalist in the relay in 2012, but she had only run the heats. And in the bobsleigh in 2014, she was silver in the two women event. Then Eddie Alvarez competed at the Olympics in baseball in 2020, and in short, where he was silver, and in short track speed skating in 2014, where he was also silver in the 5,000 meters relay. And the last one from Paris is Germany's Alexandra Burkhardt. Now, she had taken part in other Olympic Games, but it's in 2024 that she won a bronze in the 4x100 meters, and that went with her 2022 silver in bobsleigh in the two women event. So, huge congratulations to these 7 amazing athletes. So many more athletes from our sport had competed at the Winter Games, including stars like Willie Davenport, who was gold in the 110 hurdles in 1968 and bronze in 1976. He was only 11th in the bobsleigh. Jana Pittman of Australia, 400 hurdles. She was 5th in the 2004 Olympics, but she also had 2 golds at the World Championships in 2003 and 2007. And in the bobsleigh in 2014, she placed 14th. Thorsten Voss, DDR Germany decathlon. He was a silver medalist in the 1988 Olympics and a gold medalist at the World Championships in 1987. And in the bobsleigh in 1998, he had placed 8th. Now, that combination of athletics and bobsleigh is still very much in fashion, and at least 14 athletes from our sport have qualified to compete in Cortina. So let's take a look in alphabetical order by country represented. The most striking is Jamaica, where the entire team, composed of 3 sleds, including Shane Pitter, driver of both the 2 and 4 men bobsleigh, have competed in athletics. 22-year-old Pitter has become one of the best pilots in the North American circuit, winning 8 golds in 2025. So let's look at them all. The first one is Christania Williams, now 31. She competed for Jamaica in athletics, but has now become an Austrian citizen as she is married to Austria's national relay coach, Philipp Unfried. Williams in 2016 won an Olympic silver in the sprint relay, and she was a finalist in the 100 meters. In the 2017 World Championships, she earned a bronze in the relay. And in 2018, She had an under-18 gold in the sprint relay and bronze in the individual 100. She has PBs of 7:31, 11:38, 22:83, and 43:05 in the relays. She will compete in the two women bobsleigh. Germany's Talia Prepins, aged 24. She was under 18 gold in the 200 meters in 2017. She was European under 23 gold in the sprint relay in 2021 and European under 20 bronze in the sprint relay in 2019. She's also a sprinter, of course. Great Britain's Ashley Nelson, 34, also a sprinter with PBs of 11.19, 22.85, and 41.85 in the relay. At the World Championships in 2019, she was part of the silver winning sprint relay. And in 2013, she had already won bronze with the sprint relay. 2014 European Championships, individual bronze in the 100 meters and gold in the sprint relay. 2008 at the World Under 20 Championships, she was silver in the 100 meters, and in 2007 at the World Under 18 Championships, she had an individual bronze. She will also compete in the two women bobsleigh. And thrower Adele Nicol, also of Great Britain, 29 years old. In 2022, she was 8th in the shot put at the Commonwealth Games and will compete in the two women bob. Mika Moore, she competed with Great Britain in athletics, became a Jamaican citizen from December 2024. At the 2014 Commonwealth Games, she was a finalist for Great Britain in the sprint relay and will compete for Jamaica in the monobob. She had already competed in bobsleigh for Great Britain in 2018 when she was 8th. Then we have Taekwondo Tracy, also a sprinter from Jamaica, 32 years old. In 2021, he didn't start in the Olympics at the 100 meters, but in 2019 World Championships, he was a semi-finalist in the 100 meters, and he ran in the relay heats at the World Championships, both in 2017 and 2019. Very good PBs, 9.96, 20.34, and 37.95 in the relay. Among his highlights, career highlights, in 2018, gold in the 4 sprint relay in the Continental Cup. Also, same year, gold in the individual 100 meters at the NACAC Championships. And in 2012, silver in the sprint relay at the World Under 20 Championships. He's in the pool in the 2026 Jamaican team for the 4-man bob. Jamaica, Andre Dakers, also a sprinter, 24 years old. He was a relay finalist in the 200 meters at the Pan American Games. So he was a relay finalist and ran the 200 meters heats at the Pan Am Games. He competed mostly domestically, as in the pool for the 4-man bobsleigh. Jamaica's Nimroy Turgot also competed only domestically, and he is in the pool for the 2-man bobsleigh. Junior Harris, aged 21, he competed in the relay at the Under 20 Pan American Games, but he was DQ'd, competed mostly domestically, and is in the pool for the 4-man and 2-man bob. Then another athlete who is in the pool for the 2 and 4, That's Joel Fearon, 37 years old. He competed in athletics for Great Britain. Now will be representing Jamaica in the bobsleigh. He was in the relay at the European Team Championships in 2021, ran 2 Golden League meetings, and was a semi-finalist in the European Championships 60 meters in 2011. Shane Pitter, the driver, as we said, 22 years old, competed only domestically, and he's the pilot for both the 2- and 4-man bob. Then we move to Switzerland. Sprinter Salome Cora, now 31, competed in 2016, 2020, and 2024 in the sprint relay, and in the individual 100 meters in 2020 and 2024. She will compete in the 2-women bobsleigh. Her PB on the 100 meters is 10.95. Then we have already spoken about Muswama Kambunji, the older sister of Mujinga and Ditaji. She was silver in 2017 at the 200 meters at the Swiss Under-23 Championships and the Swiss Indoor Championships. She competed in the 100 and relay at the 2015 European Under-20 Championships. And she will also compete in the 2-women bob. And finally, the USA's Jaden O'Brien, aged 23. She comes from combined events with PBs of 4,596 in the pentathlon and 6,256 in the hepta. She is NCAA Under-23 heptathlon gold in 2023, NCAA pentathlon short track champion in 23, 24, and 25. She's in the pool for the 2-women bobsleigh, and that's quite amazing because she only took up the sport 3 months ago. So congratulations, Jaden, and congratulations to all of these amazing athletes. So we'll see soon how our track and field athletes will fare at the 2026 Olympic Games. Now, if you want to keep track, note bobsleigh events take place in Cortina d'Ampezzo from 12 to 19 February. Let's see how our athletes fare, but whether or not they achieve gold medals, they already deserve praise for their versatility. And runners Spain points out that Taekwondo Tracy had competed in the relay with Usain Bolt, and now he will be in Cortina for the bobsleigh. So good luck to all of them. Or rather, you don't say good luck before an event, do you? I'm not sure what it is in bobsleigh. There are some pretty colorful expressions in Italy from sailing, but I shall refrain. So from good news to bad, more sad news, unfortunately, as 2 protagonists of our sport have left us. On 27 January, Portuguese long-distance runner Fernando Mamede passed away, aged 74. His greatest sporting achievement was setting the 10,000 meters world record in 1984 in the DN Galan in Stockholm with 27:13.81, taking a huge chunk of 8.23 seconds off the previous mark by Kenya's Henry Rono and leading his compatriot Carlos Lopez also 5 seconds below Rono's time. That record was the last by a European athlete at the distance and would last over 5 years until broken by Mexico's Arturo Barrios. Mamede had already come very close to Rono's record 2 years earlier in Paris, missing it by just 0.5 seconds. Now, bizarrely for such a talented athlete, even today, 41 years later, Mamede's mark stands at number 11 in the European all-time lists. The Portuguese never won a major global event, although he competed in 3 editions of the Olympic Games and 11 World Cross-Country Championships. His only international medal was a bronze in the World Cross in 1981. Mamedu would perform superbly at one-day meetings, but at major championships he would run well in the heats and then be much slower in the final, leading his compatriots to call his difficulty handling pressure the Fernando Mamede syndrome. He retired in 1989, and as well as taking care of his sports goods shop, Mamede also returned to his club, the Sporting Clube de Portugal, working for some time as assistant coach to Mário Moniz Pereira, the man who had coached him from 1968, when he was a 17-year-old younger, to 1989 when he retired. Rest in peace, Fernando Mamede. On 26 January, World Athletics announced that former council member and vice president Lou Dapeng of China had passed away. Lou was a keen lover of our sport and instrumental in its development in China. He was first attracted to sport in general and athletics in particular as a young student in the UK, where he also was a spectator at the 1948 Olympic Games. Lou started practicing sport at his boarding school and taking part in regional school athletics competitions. Upon returning to China in 1953, he competed at national level and went on to become national record holder and collegiate champion in the hurdles. But an Achilles tendon injury finally forced him to cut short his active career. But injury could not quench his love for the sport. Lou Dapeng had graduated in engineering, but loved our sport so much, he returned to take physical education courses to dedicate his life to athletics. He first started coaching his college team, and in 1962 joined the Beijing Athletics Association as an official and coach. So as we see, he was first elected to the IAAF Council in 1984. 3 years earlier, he had become a member of the Council of Asian Athletics. From 1999 to 2007, when he retired, he was IAAF vice president. In 2001, he had been the sports director of Beijing's, 1993, he had been the sports director of Beijing's unsuccessful bid to host the 2000 Olympic Games. In 2021, he was again sports director. This time the bid was successful. And in August 2007, Lou Dapeng retired from the IAAF to focus on preparations for the Olympic Games to be held in Beijing the following year. He remained an honorary life vice president of World Athletics. I will always remember him as a true gentleman and a very hardworking official. The very first time I met him at the World Race Walking Cup in Beijing in 1995, he was not sitting comfortably in the VIP tribune, but he was taking a very visible hands-on role on the ground, ensuring that operations, including competition and media aspects, were running smoothly. So a dedicated athletics official and a lovely human being. Rest in peace, Dapeng. You will not be forgotten. Let's look now at upcoming events as we reach the end of our show. So later tonight, the elite indoor track meeting takes place in Miramas in the south of France, indoor tour silver. And tonight and tomorrow, Perche Extrême in Caen, also in France, also World Indoor Tour silver. Kenya trials for the World Indoors have been cancelled. There will instead be a nomination process based on time and merit by the federation. 32 more World Indoor Silver meets, 31 January Gorzów Jump Festival in Poland, and 31 January and 1st of February in Tallinn, the Tallinn 2026 World Combined Events Tour Silver Meet. 1st of February, second World Indoor Tour meeting, the Melrose Games in New York. That should also be super exciting. On the same day, meeting de l'Eure, World Indoor Tour Silver in Val de Reuil in France. It's also the Gran Premio de la Diputación de Cáceres, World Cross Country Tour Silver Meet in Spain. 3 February, now the World Indoor Tour Gold schedule is going to be very intense. 3 February, Czech Indoor Gala in Ostrava, Czech Republic. 6 February, the World Indoor Tour Gold in Madrid. On 6 to 8, the Asian Indoor Championships in Tianjin in China. Then 3 silver meets, World Indoor Tour Silver on 7 February, the Falai Athens Indoor, organized by Manolo Caralisa's family. The high jump meet in Hustopece in Czech Republic, the Perche Honor in Roubaix in France. 7 February is also the start of the Winter Olympic Games in Milano Cortina. And as we saw, we need to keep track of our athletes in the bobsleigh. 8 February is the INIT Indoor Meet World Indoor Tour Gold in Karlsruhe, and also the Cross Internacional Amendoeiras en Flor in Albufeira, which is a cross tour gold event and also doubles up as European Champions Clubs Cup. On the same day, silver meet in Metz, Moselle, another silver meet on the 10th, high jump meet in Trinec in Czech Republic. 11 February, World Indoor Tour Gold continues in Belgrade. In 14 February, 2 non-stadium events, the Sirikwa Classic Cross Country in Eldoret in Kenya, Cross Country Tour Gold, and the Ras Al Khaimah Half Marathon in the United Arab Emirates. Also 2 World Indoor Tour Silvers, the Sound Invite in Winston-Salem in the US, which has some really good entries, and the Olga International Tournament, Olga Ripakova Prizes in Kazakhstan. 14-15 February is also one of the windows for national indoor championships. For example, Great Britain will hold them on 14-15 February. 19 February, another World Indoor Tour Gold in Liévin. 21 February, Asian Cross Country Championships in Fukuoka, Japan, and also the Balkan Indoor Championships in Belgrade. 21 February, Ocean Breeze Elite World Indoor Tour Silver in New York in the US. 21-22 February, USA Indoor Combined Events Championships in Indianapolis. 22 February, the last meet of the World Indoor Tour Gold, the Orlen Copernicus Cup in Toruń. 22 February, All-Star Perche in Clermont-Ferrand, that's Renaud Lavilleni's meet. 22 February is also the day when marathons are held in Osaka and Daegu and in many other cities worldwide. And 24 February, World Indoor Tour Silver in Banska Bystrica. 25 February, World Indoor Tour in Novi Nezidi. 28 February to 1st of March, South American Indoor Championships in Cochabamba, Bolivia. And also that's the second window for national indoor championships. For example, US and Italy, among others, will hold their national championships on 28 February and 1st March. And then, of course, on the 1st of March, we will have the first of the World Marathon Majors in Tokyo. So we're now at the end of the program, and it was great reviewing together some of the superb action of the past 2 weeks in athletics. And there's more to come because, as we saw, 5 more World Tour indoor gold meets take place in the next few days. So that'll be really exciting. Thank you all for watching, and see you in 2 weeks on Love Athletics to look together at the highlights, comments, and analysis of what's been happening in our sport over the past fortnight. Ciao.